Hi guys, you're really welcome to this channel, narcscon. On this channel, we look at all things to do with narcissistic abuse in order to understand what happened to us, usually in the intimate relationship, but this is also translatable to any other life situation, whether you have a narcissist in the family or at work or a friend, etc. So I believe these channels are absolutely essential to save people, to save lives actually, with people that come out of these situations who are left floundering, who are left depleted of energy, who are exhausted, who are very, very confused, and who are in extreme pain without understanding exactly why. So I know a lot of us have been lucky enough to happen upon this community that explains what was going on for us and who the narcissist actually is in order for us to heal. So please, if you're new here, consider like, sharing or subscribing or all three. And thank you for being here, people from the start, or if you've just joined us in the last few months. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate your comments, and I do know that the comments that you make help others considerably, and I've heard that through coaching. So please keep commenting, keep sharing your experience. It really matters. So today what I'd like to talk about is how the narcissist baits you into reacting. And I'd like to talk about how we often see the narcissist as being, all powerful, and that they seem to get their way all the time, that they make the decisions about, having a new supply in the background, and that it's very difficult to deal with the narcissist. And that we often are left feeling depleted, as I said at the beginning of the video, and we're often perplexed at how, and annoyed at the lack of justice there is when dealing with a narcissist, that they seem to get away with so much destruction, and we often are left feeling that they've taken our personal power away. And I'd like to address this and really, really get to the crux of the matter as to how you can re-empower yourself by understanding what happened to you in the narcissistic relationship. It's kind of like a key to understanding who the narcissist is, and it's taking their power right away from them. It's essentially making them null and void. And I do know that it takes a good bit of time after particularly heartbreak, or if the narcissist has dumped you, discarded you, as we say in this community, to actually recover, because you are going through a very complex grieving process and a possible post-traumatic stress complex or disorder after being with a narcissist. So it's a multi-complex task to recover from narcissistic abuse, but it's a very worthwhile one. And part of the recovery process is what we all do. We've all gone to searching on Google for what's happened to us because we're perplexed, and we often end up getting directed to our very community education on narcissistic abuse and on narcissistic personality disorder. So let's get into the very crux of how you understand and why it's necessary to rewire your brain. And we're all so hungry to know, was I actually with a narcissist? And it's essential for us to know, because if we know, then we can put things in place and we can move forward. So I know how important it is to you to know that you are with a narcissist. So in as much as we can, here we are describing what a narcissist is and how to deal with them, so you can make your own mind up about whether the person you were with displays enough of these traits and characteristics for you to put them in that file in your brain as narcissist. And then you know that there is no hope of having a relationship with them, or that it's ill-advised, detrimental to accept a Hoover from them. So let's get into the subject of the video and how we can disempower a narcissist, essentially. So the narcissist's power we perceive from our normal, healthy, loving, human, empathetic perspective as often being all-powerful, in that no matter what we do, it doesn't affect the narcissist. But here's where we can just put that in place. What we do is everything to the narcissist. We are capable of living a life on our own. We're capable of regulating our emotions. We're capable of actually feeling peace and feeling happiness and by ourselves, even though other people are obviously, enrich life. We don't feed on other people. The narcissist's only power over you is your belief in the narcissist. And that's the crux and the key of understanding how to disempower a narcissist. So just take it like this. The narcissist sees you and decides what programs to run on the mask that are going to attract you, entrap you, manipulate you to keep you entrapped, keep you there after they discard you, and bring you back again to renew their cycle. You have to believe in the program that they're running. So it's literally you looking at a computer game or the TV and believing the character that's in that game or in that film. You have to believe that that character is real for that character to actually exist. And that's why the narcissist is so often baiting people, baiting their partner into reacting to them, which makes them feel empowered and regulates their emotions. How they go about baiting you is triggering you emotionally. So the narcissist is a cold individual with no empathy, and therefore can stay in a relative position of calmness and control, which is their ultimate aim, ultimate survival mechanism and technique. The narcissist does have emotions which are in the negative, which are rage and jealousy and envy and irritation and disgruntlement, which do erupt when the control level is shattered or dented by you. And remember that, by you. So they're presenting this mask to you, and as long as you believe in the mask, they can continue baiting you emotionally. And what I mean by that is attacking you on all levels with the manipulations that they will pull on you to get you to outpour either love, help, money, rage even, reactive abuse, anything that shows that you believe in the mask that they're presenting to you. And I know a lot of people will come, in coaching and like myself and on other channels and say at the end of the relationship, and even like 5 and 10 years after living with a person, they did not know who that person was. They were perplexed because the person that presented to them when they were ending the relationship bore no resemblance to the person that they had lived with for the last 10 years. They went from that person to a total stranger. So I would use the analogy of an actor on TV and them playing, say they play a king of an army or a castle or whatever, and they're playing in character that they're maybe a very evil or, warlike. And then you meet them in person and they're this tiny, timid, passive person who wouldn't say boo to a spider. And that is the extent of the difference of the masks that the narcissists use. So once you don't react or believe in what the narcissist is telling you, they cease to exist. And that shatters the facade, that shatters the mask, and it grapples to find another manipulation that you will react to put them back in control and to be living in the persona that they have presented to you, so that they can continue to get their supply from you until such time as they decide that another supply source would suit them better. So guys, you taking things personally is one of the downfalls of us in general, and is one of the top ploys of the narcissist at getting a reaction out of you, baiting you into giving them a reaction. And we've all been through this. We have a situation that doesn't work out with a narcissist, and it can be an everyday thing. Instead of discussing, two individuals discussing how to make a situation work or how to make something better, the narcissist immediately will blame their target. And they will personalize the blame to the target, even if it's a logical thing that doesn't work out, even if it's something like your car breaking down. The narcissist will blame their target or victim and say, the car is broken down because you are too lazy to maintain it or to have gone to the garage. And you always do this, and you really need to look at yourself and improve, because if you weren't that lazy, we wouldn't be in this situation. So they will always personalize issues. And the purpose of this is to bait you into defending yourself. And it deflects from the essential core problems in the relationship. You having to look at yourself all the time, and a normal person does introspect when someone gives them a critique. But the trick of the narcissist is you believe that their opinion is of value, and you believe that they are the person that they present. So you believe in them as your husband or your wife. You believe in them as girlfriend or boyfriend. You believe in all the things they've presented to you. You believe in that person existing and having good traits, etc. You believe that you love each other, so therefore you take their opinion on board at a certain extent in the beginning of the relationship in particular, and in the middle phase where you're being devalued. You really want to make everything okay again and the relationship to work. So you do introspect. So they get you by hitting at you personally to get you to go down rabbit holes of trying to explain yourself and trying to work things out. And they keep you in this confused state, as we've often talked about before, which deflects you from looking at them as being the potential problem or any other essential theme that's going through your relationship. All the focus is on you defending yourself and you feeling bad. So this is the way they will bait you. They have to get you emotionally triggered and emotionally going in order for them to manipulate you into doing something. And your belief in them and taking things personally. So they're the two core things to understand about narcissists. Once you don't believe in the mask, and once you don't allow yourself to take their comments personally, it's a no-brainer in relation to the narcissist being totally powerless, because that's what and how they operate. As I said a few minutes ago, when they're baiting, if one manipulation, one baiting technique doesn't work, and you're sitting back now at this stage, having watched a few of these videos, and you're still with the narcissist and you're going, well, I'm not going to get triggered by that. I know what you're doing now. You're baiting me. You're blaming me. They'll come at you a different way. They will They will bait you a different way. They may bring someone else into the picture and triangulate you with someone else, so that if they believe there's any juice left in that type of manipulation, they will go at you from all sides until eventually, even with silent treatment, if that is something that they haven't done before with you and the other baits aren't working, they will introduce something like a new technique to see how that works in you. Remember, the narcissist is like someone going to a coffee machine or, a chocolate bar machine, candy machine, and they push a few buttons and they always get what they want when they push those buttons and put the correct money in. But if your buttons aren't working, they're going to start going to a different chocolate bar because they need that chocolate bar. They need that cup of coffee. So they'll go to a button that they've never pressed before to see if perhaps that button is going to work for them. This is essential to their survival. This is essential to who they are. They have to. They have to feed on you, and your emotional reaction to them and believing in them is their life supply source. So this is how important it is to understand these things when you're dealing with a narcissist. No reaction emotionally. There are other ways to combat what you're experiencing with the narcissist, and we will talk about those in other videos. But this is the kind of the basic course in understanding how important you are to a narcissist, and understanding the essential amount of power you have is total. And we can really get boggle-eyed and confused and think that the narcissist is the powerful one, which is another trick of the narcissistic personality disorder in getting you to believe that they are superior. So guys, be very careful with this one. Understanding this is basic to understanding who the narcissist is. They'll also use yourself against you, and this still comes into believing in the person that they are and who they present to you as. They will use yourself against you in that they will bait you into your lower self. They will bait you into getting angry through a continual series of devaluations of you, to a continual subtle pressure on you, so that it comes to a stage where you do enter what we call reactive abuse, where you do understand that you're being attacked, but you don't know how you're being attacked. And this is, again, another video. It's being attacked covertly and continually. So it's like, say, a water torture that keeps dripping and dripping and dripping on you until you know that if you allow it to continue, you're kind of flaying around and trying to fight against this feeling that is coming up inside you of not being good enough because you're believing in the narcissist and what they say to you. And when you do erupt, if you do, and out of character even, start to shout at them and start to try and defend yourself and say, I've had enough of this. Every time anything goes wrong, you throw insults at me and it is not productive, and you lose your cool, you'll see the narcissist smirk. And then you go, how can they smirk? How can they grin when I'm actually being really angry? I'm really upset, and I'm obviously distressed about what they're doing and saying to me. And they're sitting there, cool, calm, and collected, and smirking at me. And they're enjoying it. And the penny drops in these instances. The penny drops many times. The red flags fly in front of your face many times. And that's what gets us to eventually the cumulative effect of these weird instances, these abnormal instances, get us to go searching on Google or whatever on YouTube and say, very angry narcissist, not narcissist, partner thinks it's funny. Partner seems to be enjoying me being angry. And, whatever you put in, it invariably leads us to the narcissistic personality disorder. So guys, you are the powerful person if disempowerment is part of what you're feeling, if hopelessness is what you're feeling. You are a person of many, many capabilities. You're a full human being of many resources within you. And I would implore you to look within that and to understand how powerful you actually are as a force of good, not perfection, but of good. Where a narcissist is limited and totally dependent on the destruction of other people to feeling empowered, feeling in control, and feeling happy. Honestly, there are two types of people in the world. There are people with empathy and people without empathy. And there are people that want to grow things and help and prosper, as is the normal human condition. And people who are abnormal and need to destroy and look after only number one and get pleasure out of doing so. So the power is with you, as they say in Star Wars, may the force be with you. I think that's what they say. Remember the key points. Your belief in the narcissist makes them exist. You taking things that they say personally or having any validity makes them exist. You getting baited to emotionally react to a narcissist makes them exist. You take those three things away from a narcissist, they are shattered. They disintegrate. They rush like a person who's been in the desert for a month to the next well of supply to get their water, to someone who does believe in them, who doesn't know what they're dealing with, and is going to be destroyed unless they get this information. So guys, please share. Please share your experiences. Please share these channels and do what you can to fight against this awful personality disorder. Take great care, and I'll see you again very soon with a new video. And any video suggestions you may have, please leave them in the comments and I will do my best to cover them in the near future. Bye for now, guys. Take care. Bye.